Okay guys, well I got a new delivery today, fresh off the delivery truck, dedicated War Gods arcade cabinet. Overall it's in relatively great shape. A few dings and nicks there along the whole machine as you'd expect from a machine of this age. It's been on location and been moved around. But if you give it a good look here, it's really not too bad. All the spots that need touched up I can really get with just some black, fortunately, like this spot and that spot. And this area here, it's in this yellow, but I could just put some black on there and it'll blend right in. As well as right here, there's three big gouges here, but it's close enough to the black area and dark enough hue that I can just put some black there and fix that. But otherwise, it's not really too bad. I'll show you the other side here. Again, most of the trouble spots I can hit with some black and have it not be too bad. Like right here, right here, here, here. Again, it's on a dark yellow spot that's dark enough to where I can probably hit it with some black and be okay. So I can fix that with some black. This scrape right there. Along the back side, of course, right here. All these spots I can hit with some black and have it be not noticeable. So it's in pretty good shape. I'm not going to complain. Fortunately, there's not a big scrape across the green or something like that. Then I'd really be kind of hurting for trying to find a color to match it. So otherwise, not too bad. The sides do need some artwork. This side particularly needs to have some woodworking done because there's a chunk of wood missing there and there's chunks of wood missing here. So I'm going to peel this off of here and try and fix this and then get some midway sides like MK3 and put them on each side. It needs new T-molding, new buttons, new joysticks, and new Lexan. The control panel overlay, you can look at it and see the control panel overlay is remarkably in great shape. There's not a single scratch on it anywhere, despite not having a Lexan overlay. But I am almost 100% positive that there used to be a Lexan overlay on here at some point, because the front T-molding here is sitting higher than the CPO, pardon me, and it does have the screws in it. So I think what happened was someone took the Lexan off of here because it was probably bad or scratched or what have you, and sold the machine without it on there because they didn't want to have to replace it. So I'm going to order some new Lexan buttons, joysticks, and T-molding, and I should be good to go as far as all that aspect. But it does. This game has 3D buttons. It's a button marked 3D. It's just like Run for MK3. You can see it goes right there. These are the buttons that came on the machine. Obviously, they're the wrong ones. I was fortunate enough to find some new old stock ones on eBay, so I'll get these changed out to the correct ones. That's what it should look like right there. And then once I get the new Lexan overlay, I'll get everything together along with the buttons and joysticks. But overall, it's in pretty good shape. I'm not going to complain, really. I have not turned it on. I had to take the monitor out. It does have a monitor. It's sitting right there. I took the monitor out because the shippers left it on a pallet in my driveway, so I had to unwrap it and get it off the pallet. Well, these machines are so heavy that when you try and get these off the pallet, you run the risk of knocking them over. So to make it as light as possible, I took the control panel box off, the back door off, and the monitor out, and it slid right off the pallet fairly easily. So that's why the monitor is removed. But since we're talking about the monitor, I want to mention that it's a Wells Gardner D9200, which is the CGA, EGA, and VGA to tri-mode monitor. And the way you change it, it's a digital monitor, meaning it's like a computer monitor, and it comes with this little thing here instead of your normal remote board, like brightness, contrast, vertical hold, that thing. It comes with this, and you do everything through the menu. You press mode or select or what have you, and it brings up a menu. You do everything through the menu through the onboard system. So that's how you adjust everything with this D9200. But if you want to change your input, you've got a connector here that's for CGA and a connector here for VGA. Here obviously is your VGA connector, and here's your CGA connector right here. So if you want to use CGA, you have to have this connector on that part, and if you want to use VGA, you got to have this connector on that part. Those are the two connections for it. This is CGA and EGA, and this is VGA. So this will support 15, 25, or 31 kilohertz. But I'm torn between reusing this thing or putting a different monitor in here, because this monitor is a 27-inch monitor and it does work just fine, but it's got some really bad screen burn in it. And I don't know if you guys will really be able to see. There you can see it. It says War Gods across it. It says War and Gods and insert coin and the life bars. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, have the camera pick it up because of the glare. If I close the garage door, it only gets darker and you can't see it. But look at that. You can see that right there. So there's two reasons I'm torn between putting this back in here and using a different monitor, is because what would I do with this? Since this has War God screen burn in it, I couldn't put it in a different game. On top of the fact it's a 27-inch monitor, this is a 25-inch cabinet. So I could take this monitor and put it back in here and just adjust it, you know, shrink it down this way and shrink it down that way to fit the 25-inch viewable area, which isn't a problem. But again, I have the screen burn. Now, if I were to take one of my extra monitors and put it in here and then be good to go, what would I do with this? I couldn't put this in a different game because of the War God screen burn, and also for the 27-inch viewable area thing. So I'll probably just keep this and put it back in the War Gods and keep it in here until it craps out, and then worry about putting a different monitor in here at some point, because there's no reason to really get rid of this or put it in a different game because of the screen burn and the fact that it still works. So once I get this thing cleaned up and put back together and inside the house, I'll show it off in action. And then of course, once I get it fully restored and touched up and artwork and all that stuff, then I'll show it off again. But I'll go ahead and get it in the house and back together enough to be able to at least show it off working. So if you want to stand by here for a second, I will go ahead and get that done. And then I'll come back and you'll see it working, hopefully. So 1 second. All right, here it is. I got it all cleaned up, monitors fully adjusted, proper colors, position, all that jazz. You can barely see well, actually when the game is playing, you can't really see the screen burn at all. You can only really see it when you go into the test menu and the screen is all gray and it shows the options for the test menu, but otherwise you really can't see the screen burn at all. So it's livable. I can live with it. So for now, I'll keep that monitor in there, but otherwise it's all cleaned up and ready to go. I do need to figure out why the marquee is not working, whether it's a bulb or a ballast or a fixture or what. I'll dive into that later. It does need new coin door lights as well. And tonight I'll get on the internet and I'll go to eBay and I'll order some new buttons, joysticks, control panel overlay, Lexan, and some T-molding, get all that ordered and installed. Once I get all that stuff in, then I'll go through the cabinet and do the final touch-ups. And I'll do a video once I get it completely done and restored so you can see how it turned out. Otherwise, here it is for now. And like I say, I got the D9200 back in there, and it's looks great. Got everything adjusted for sharpness and contrast and brightness and position and everything. And I changed out the incorrect buttons here, these ones here, and put the correct ones in there, as you can see. So that being said,
Kabuki Joe, Pagan, you are chosen. Round 1, begin.
So thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for the final restoration.